there's a tendency for you to say, ooh, but I want to stick with what I know because it's safe. But you want to remember that it's not safe. It no longer has stability. Even if it looks like it's there and present, it's not going to be there for long. And it's an illusion. It's a mirage. Hello, I'm Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to another New Moon Musings for the new moon happening on April 27th. And wow, this one's going to be a little bit intense. We just came out of a pretty intense cycle, and we're going into one that I feel is going to be intense in a little bit of a different way. And we'll really kind of get in depth with what that's looking like. But for those of you who are returning to my channel, thank you so much for being here. You know what to do. Flip to the intro portion in the timestamps to get started. For those of you who are new to me, welcome. So happy to have you here. Stay tuned for this 1-minute clip to show you how you can make this new moon reading work for you. And we'll see you on the flip side. For those of you who are new to me, here's a quick little breakdown on how to make this reading work for you. The new moon cycle works where it moves in 3.5 basically days throughout that 28-day cycle. So sometimes you're in a phase a little bit longer, a little bit shorter. It is not linear. But what I do is I give you dates connected to each of the phases of the new moon cycle so that you can come back to the video after you've watched the whole thing, you've taken it all in, you come back to that video for those particular times so that you understand, okay, I'm in, the waxing crescent phase, and what do I need to know about that? What is transpiring in my world right now? And this information is really helpful because it's giving me perspective on what it is I need to learn, or maybe I need to pull back, or maybe I need to lean in a little bit more. So use this. It's kind of like the gift that keeps on giving. Use it throughout the month to support you. So let's talk about this new moon that is happening in Taurus. And it's happening on 12:32 p.m. Eastern Standard, which is 5:32 p.m. UTC time. And Taurans are typically about that sensuality, ritual, routine, understanding the importance of tradition, things of that nature. But they can also get a little stuck. They can get a little stubborn. They are very slow to change, if they change at all. It takes a lot of effort to do that. So that's just kind of the basics. But here's what we need to know about this particular new moon energy for you guys. So it is about that sensuality. And I downloaded that it's about coming back into the body, experiencing true physical joy, ecstatic dreaming. What does that mean? When was the last time you were ecstatic about something? This is the time to do that. This new moon is going to bring about things that are going to invoke you being ecstatic over something and really leaning into it. Don't let it just flit by. Embrace it. Go into that ecstatic dreaming. Also, dreaming is envisioning. Dreaming is manifesting, co-creation, right? Examining tradition and stretching outside your comfort zones to enhance your sensual experiences. So often we use the word sensual and we think about it in a romantic sense, or even a sexual sense. I'm talking about us connecting to our senses: taste, touch, sight, smell, hearing, right? We want to really be connecting to ourselves and connecting to our bodies in that very physical way. Sure, that can be sexual. Rock on with your bad self. Do what you got to do. But it also is about, if you don't have a romantic partner, or, you're just not, that's not your focus. It's really about coming back into the body, acknowledging the body for the work that it does for you. And when we're talking about that Taurian energy with examining tradition, Taurians really love to be in tradition. They love to know what's coming up. They love to kind of have things laid out for them. And I feel like this new moon is actually encouraging us to break with tradition, or to examine it in such a way that we decide, I can tweak it here, I can tweak it there, in order to kind of make new traditions based on old traditions, or to examine whether these traditions are valid any longer. And maybe it's time for me to go to that next level of evolution. The other thing that I downloaded here is it's an invitation to grow through wisdom already acquired. So, if you've watched me for any length of time, you know that I always like to say wisdom is a nothing burger unless it is applied. You can learn all sorts of shit, but if you're not applying it moving forward and making different choices as a result of what you've learned, then it means nothing. It does nothing for you. So I feel like this is going to be a particular period of time to really step into that space and shining a light on it, really looking at it from a very truthful, very honest perspective. Because the new moon energy is going to encourage us. It's going to basically say, things are changing. So get on the bandwagon and determine for yourself, decide for yourself how you want to make that work for you. So we are going to pull cards from the Tridevia Tarot deck. Loving this deck. And let's get started. And we're going to pull a release card first. And this is, what are we releasing from the previous new moon cycle? What did we kind of learn from the last 28 days that we can release now, so that we can just take the nuggets of wisdom from it? We have 8 of Wands. So 8 of Wands itself is swift release, but it's also really about communication. And I feel like what aspects of your conversations, your interactions with others in the previous cycle kind of need to go by the wayside. What conversations and interactions brought a sense of closure? What conversations and interactions didn't bring a sense of closure or resolve, but you're done with it anyway, because you can't afford to spend any more time or energy on that. Swift release. So I feel like what we are letting go of is this needing to hang on to things that are, quite frankly, going to hold us back, are going to keep us locked in a particular situation or circumstance or scenario that is keeping us in the past. And that's what I feel that we are releasing in a really big way. And now we're at our soul card. What is the collective learning and growth for this new moon cycle? Wow, these cards are really speaking to us today. They're going all over the place. I love the soul card. It is a collective reading, but the soul card can really give us a real taste of, I want to say, what our individual purpose and focus can be to help the collective moving forward. Okay, we've got the death card. So I want to say this new moon cycle and at the soul of this new moon cycle, it's really ushering in the reality that nothing is the same and nothing can ever go back to the way it was. It's interesting that this is happening in a Taurian energy, because Taurus is like that stability. They like to know, they like to be able to count on things. So I'm going to say, for you who have a lot of Taurus in your chart, either you're a sun, moon, or a rising, or it's in your Venus, or maybe your midheaven, this might be a bit of a rough time for you. And I want to say, give yourself grace. Give yourself be empathetic with yourself. Be kind to yourself, because this is basically saying the change is here, and you can resist it. You can cry over the spilled milk about it. You can try desperately to go back into what was, but it's going to be futile, and you're just going to spend all that time and that energy to come back to right here, right now. So the collective learning and growth for this new moon cycle, I feel, is really about letting go of what can no longer be and embracing the adventure of moving forward. Death doesn't need to be scary. And we can see in this particular depiction, the little baby is not afraid of death coming into the village. The little baby says, thank you for coming, because you showed up. And when you showed up, it allowed me to exist. I'm something new that wants to have different things, do different things. I want to have the freedom to express myself creatively. I want to be innovative in how I'm moving through my life. And I couldn't do it without you coming into the village and cleaning things up, pruning the trees and shifting things up. You know, when we don't grow, when we get too comfortable with things. So be the child, be the baby this month. Be in that, I want to say, that childlike awe and wonder, that childlike energy that says everything is possible. What would I like to do next? And now we're at our new moon card, and this is happening on April 27th. And the cycle is lasting from about the 27th to the 30th. And this is all about I manifest. What energies are here to support my manifesting, and how can I lean into their wisdom? Ace of Wands, inspired action. So when we are talking about that manifesting energy, I feel like the Ace of Wands is the perfect freaking card for this, because aces are all about new beginnings, but they're about the potential of the new beginning. And again, potential is a nothing burger unless you put action behind it. So you're receiving an inspiration. What are you going to do with that inspiration? And I feel like what you want to be focusing on manifesting is not manifesting the things that you've already been in the process of manifesting. This is about saying, all right, universe, inspire me. Show me the things that are outside of my knowing. You know, I don't understand. Like, you know, we say often the sky's the limit. Help me to vision beyond the sky. Help me to vision beyond the stars. What's beyond our galaxy? Help me to vision those potentials and possibilities, right? So it's really stretching outside the box. And in the process of that, it allows you to manifest to you more experiences that are not necessarily predictable, but are going to, I want to say, help you to create new tradition based on the new energy that you are engaging with. That energy isn't going away, right? That new energy is here to stay. And this is an opportunity for us to learn how to work within that energy. So that Ace of Wands is a huge invitation to say, ask for the inspirations, because we've got a ton of it. We've got ways for you to engage with this energy in a way that is going to work for you, and it's going to be pleasurable. It's going to be enjoyable, but you got to get out of your own way to do that. You have to take the approach of, I want to create a new tradition. Show me how to create a new tradition with what new material is here. Now we are at our Waxing Crescent card, and Waxing Crescent is happening May 1st through the 3rd, and it is I plan. What do I need to consider when creating my plan for the cycle? Any changes or opportunities to be aware of? And we've got the King of Wands. Okay, so I find it really fascinating that we have the Death card, and I don't know if the Death card actually traditionally is read as a fire card, but I read it as fire because death is the phoenix burning in the phoenix phase cycles. It's the I've come to the end of something, or something has to come to an end and it gets burned away. And it leaves space and room for transformation. You know, it leaves space and room for something new to come in. And so now we have our Ace of Wands, fire, soul energy, the fuel that we need to move forward and move ahead with our lives. And now we've got the King of Wands. So we've got the beginning of that cycle, the Ace, and we have the end of that cycle, the King. The King energy, it's entrepreneurial energy, it's creative energy, it's the excitement of witnessing the new idea coming into fruition, but not from the perspective of I've manifested it, I've been waiting for it, and now it's here and I'm enjoying it. More so from the perspective of I'm creating as I go and I'm experiencing it all along the way. Ace through 10, and I'm experiencing it through the page, the knight, the queen, and now the king. I am encompassing all of it. But I'm also now in a space of recognizing that it's the process of creation that brings the most joy, not the actual outcome. The actual outcome is great because the King of Wands really steps into an energy of, I know it's happening. I know it's going to show up. I'm not worried about it. I don't have anxiety about it. I sit more in the space of knowing it's going to happen. And so I really embrace and embody the exciting opportunity of the journey to get there. I do feel that this month, when we are tapping into these days in particular, but then how it's going to sort of cascade moving forward, I do feel that the challenge is going to be for all of us in having to suspend our disbelief, having to, King of Wands and Queen of Wands, they have the most amazing ideas that have never been done yet. There's a lot of innovation, a lot of creative play. And to the average person, it can look like that's too fanciful. That's impossible. That's too pie in the sky. How do you think you're going to do that? So the challenge, or I want to say the opportunity for you, is to lean into the King of Wands wisdom and to say, whatever is coming up for you, don't judge it. Don't poo-poo it. Don't kill it right out the gate because you don't know the how. Go instead with this is incredible. Let me see how far I can get with this. Let me explore different resources. Let me talk to different people to get different ideas on how to actually bring this into being. Let me be open and receptive to what that looks like. Because the fire, yes, it purifies, it removes, it clears a path, but fire also ignites. It needs oxygen to grow. It provides heat. It provides reclamation, right? When we have a forest fire, it provides reclamation. So step into that. That feels delicious. I love that. First quarter, I act. First quarter is happening on May 4th through to the 7th. And this is how what energy fuels my motivation. How can I collaborate with source energy to empower my actions? So you've created the plan. You've allowed yourself to explore. Now it's how are we putting this into action? Oh my God, 7 of Wands. So this new moon cycle is going to be intense, but I want to say it feels like it's intense in a positive way if you choose to see it as such. It's going to be very motivating. It's going to be very inspirational. You're going to have the right ideas. And if you utilize, if you work with the energy that's showing up with you, if you don't shy away from it, if you don't allow fear to stop you from taking the steps to move forward, I want to say, oh, the places you'll go. So 7 of Wands is interesting. In the traditional tarot interpretation, this is a card of defense. I like to sort of read this as you're in your zone of genius. And all of these other wands are being held by people who are seeking you out because of that zone of genius, because of the wisdom that you have to offer. And they're not trying to burn you down necessarily. There might be 1 or 2 of them that, that humans are humans. The ego is the ego. But I like to sort of see this card, or I feel this card in a way that you've got people holding torches that want a little bit of your light. They want to light their torch with your fire. They want to learn from you. They want to support you. They want to lift you up. They want to learn from you so that they can support and lift themselves up. So I feel like this Seven of Wands is coming up and coming through because you're the one who's going to have the ideas. You're the one who's going to, for lack of better words, see the vision, feel the vision coming up and say, all right, I'm going to step forward. And no, I don't have all my ducks in a row, but I don't need to, because again, it's a part of the journey. And so how can you collaborate with source energy to empower your actions? I feel like it's sharing. Now, it's not sharing all the nitty gritty and the details of your idea, especially if it's something that's a little more innovative. Sadly, but truthful, we can't always trust people to not steal things. So if this is for example, a business idea that you've got, share it only with the chosen ones that you can truly trust. Don't always show all your cards. Pick and choose the little, bits of information that you give. But I feel like it's recognizing that it's about me talking about these things, because when I speak about it, other people are going to show up in my path who can help me, who've got that missing piece of the puzzle, or that little bit of information that gets me to the next step. So this first quarter, I feel, is really going to be about getting what you need, attracting the resources, the people, the place, the things, the stuff that's going to get you to that next step and that next level. And I'm hearing that it's important in that collaboration to always step into a space of gratitude, expressing gratitude to that person. And I keep hearing to say, see that person as an earth angel for you. How would you thank the angels in your mind? How would you thank the angels when you've asked for something and they've brought it to you? You want to thank people in the real world, well, I shouldn't say the real world, depending on our perception of things. In the third dimensional world, how you want to appreciate them and offer gratitude to them in that way. Now we are at our Waxing Gibbous card, and the Waxing Gibbous is happening on May 8th through the 11th, and it is I choose. What energy can I lean into for confidence as I discern my commitments? 10 of Swords. Okay, so you guys are really going to need to be in a space of understanding that I've put a plan in motion. And at this particular junction, you're going to be asked to make a choice. And it's going to be one of those things. It's not a both and. It's going to be an either or choice. And it's one of those things that's going to come up where you're going to say, I have a lot of passion and a lot of motivation on this thing, but this other thing that's popping up is indicating to me that in order to do this thing, I have to give up this thing. Or in order to do this thing, I have to give up this thing. And I feel like the energy that you can lean into for confidence is with this 10 of Swords energy. It really truly is an ending. It is the Death card in the Minor Arcana. It is the invitation to say, oh my God, I'm glad that I no longer have to invest any kind of time or energy into this, so that I can be fully present and fully invested in this new venture, in this new thing that I'm building and creating. Be wary when this choice comes up. There's a tendency for you to say, ooh, but I want to stick with what I know because it's safe. But you want to remember that it's not safe. It no longer has stability. Even if it looks like it's there and present, it's not going to be there for long. And it's an illusion. It's a mirage. So, and our guides are never going to say you must do this or else. So I want to be clear. You always have choice. You can absolutely stick with what you know. Just understand that that experience is only going to last so long, and you're going to end up right back where you're at with that choice in the not too distant future. So it's not that you can't choose to stay in what you're in. It's understanding I'm going to have to make this choice regardless at some point. So it's, do I want to kick the can down the road, or do I want to make the choice now? I also want to say here, when we're talking about that confidence piece, the 10 of Swords really is the freedom to move on to something else entirely. And you want to look at it from that perspective. Why am I holding on so desperately to this thing in the form that it's in right now? What is it that I'm afraid of? If I were to let it go, if I were to stop doing it, if I were to stop being in that mode, what is it that I'm afraid of? Because Ten of Swords is giving you choice. And it's kind of saying, by not giving you a choice to continue in this form, I'm giving you a multitude of choices, a multitude of potentials and possibilities that you get to choose. So it's looking at it from that perspective. A lot of people, tarot readers, I notice, read the Ten of Swords in a very dun, 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 gloom and doom way. I'm not feeling it in this way. I feel that it's a gift today for us. So step into the gift of what is coming to an end, because tens are new beginnings based on an already established foundation. So you've got what you need to do something new. Just give yourself permission to do it. And now we are at our full moon card, and the full moon is happening on May 12th, and the energies are going to be lasting through to about the 15th. And this new moon is in Scorpio. So let's talk a little bit about that scorpionic energy. Scorpio energy is typically that endings, but it's endings to bring about rebirth. If we think about the scorpion stings. So there might be a sting to the ending. We've got two cards that are endings, the Death card and the Ten of Swords, right? So there's very much that energy of things coming to an end. I want to say to you, though, a sting doesn't necessarily mean it's going to kill you. And you want to embody that, because the fight or flight can pop up and we behave in irrational ways because we think, oh my God, this choice or this thing that's being taken away from me or that's being removed, it's going to kill me. It's going to leave me unsafe. Those are the feelings that you want to examine and evaluate, because not saying they're not real, but I want to say feelings are neither true nor false. And that's a key to what might be holding you back from moving forward. So we're going to be connecting with some of these issues of fight or flight. You might be noticing a little bit more of that survival mode kicking in. So be aware of that so that you can ask those questions and really determine, is this actually the truth, or is this an activated moment, a triggered moment? Is this my ego that is fearful of what can become as a result of what is dying away? It's also about what I had channeled earlier, is reconnecting to what really matters from a psychological perspective. So I feel like a lot of us are going to be dealing with not mental health issues, but I want to say that psychological stuff that comes up from the surface that can then get rooted into our brains and make us think differently. So again, kind of piggybacking on what I was just saying, it's an opportunity to really ask the right questions. Is this feeling that I'm having realistic to what I'm experiencing in real life? Am I really going to die if this thing doesn't happen? You know, am I really not going to survive if this thing does or doesn't happen? And it's okay, well, what can I do right now? I'm obviously being given the information now so that I can make some different choices, so that I can do something about this before that actually occurs. So you want to really approach it in that way. So full moon card is all about I receive. You know, we did the planning and the acting and the inspiration and the manifesting, and now this is the time in the cycle to receive. So how can I best open to the energies of this full moon to receive clarity, guidance, or direction? And what gift does this full moon offer to me? Oh, beautiful. We have the Emperor. Power, control, taking back our power. The divine masculine in the healthy form of being able to really assist, to be able to make decisions that are going to be for the highest and best of all that are in your sphere, in your realm. It's not about taking control, although this card can very much be about that I want to say in the unhealthy way. It's taking control in negative capacity. What I'm feeling here is the Emperor is saying you're being given back your power. but it's up to you to choose to take it. Something that I read recently made a lot of sense to me. The crown that the emperor wears, he wasn't given it through birthright like a king. He won it. He earned it. He took it. And I feel like when you're in that receive mode, the emperor is saying you don't need anyone's permission to take what is being offered to you. But you do have to agree to say yes to it. You know, it can be shown to you 57,000 different ways, but if you keep saying no to it because you're expecting something else, or you don't feel that you're worthy of it, or it doesn't look the way you thought it was going to look, then you're looking a gift horse in the mouth. And that's what I really feel is happening here with the emperor energy. So it's an invitation to take back your power, to stand in your power. And I feel like the universe is giving it to us as a gift to say, you've earned it. So now what are you going to do with it? Don't step into the space of self-doubt or am I worthy and deserving of it? Put all that to the side and say, okay, here's what's in front of me right now. What would I like to do with this resource? What would I like to do with what is sitting right in front of me? And we are now at our disseminating moon. And the disseminating moon is happening May 16th through the 19th. And it is the card of I acknowledge. How best can I honor my gifts and my light during this time? Where can I express gratitude from the heart? You've got another ace of pentacles. Ace of pentacles typically is about planting a seed. And what I'm also seeing here is for many of us, it's about the financial flow. And I feel like what's going to transpire during this particular window of time is the potential, the possibility, the whatever it is that you agree to from a financial perspective or from a perspective of your own prosperity. This could be deciding to make an investment in something. This could be deciding to pay off a bill, a credit card, sooner than expected. This could be deciding to sign a contract to, take a course or a form of education that you've been wanting to do that's going to improve your quality of life, your lifestyle. Whatever it is that you decide to do during this particular period of time, I feel like it's planting seeds and it's going to be successful. Now, disclaimer, I'm not saying go and gamble your mortgage payment away. I'm not saying that if you don't have the money to make an investment, don't do it. I'm not saying don't do your research, before you make an investment. You want to examine all of the opportunities that are presented to you, and you always want to go based on the calculated risk, okay? But the Ace of Pentacles energy is basically saying, whatever you decide to invest in, whatever you feel intuitively in your inner knowing is the right path for you, it's going to be the right path for you. And that those seeds will grow. Those seeds will take hold and they will grow. So you want to really trust in your intuition, trust in your spidey senses around all of this, because I feel like it's the prize, it's the gift, it's the birthday present, right? From the person who showed up for your party. You don't have to work for that. It's a gift. So take advantage of it. And now we're at our third quarter card, and third quarter is happening on May 20th through the 22nd. And the affirmation here is, I claim what is being completed in my life at this time, and how can I connect to its release with conviction? We have the Strength card. So it's claiming your inner strength. It's claiming your wins. It's claiming your, we talked about you kind of in the Emperor card in the full moon, taking back your power, taking the power that is being presented to you. It's all about you choosing how you want to use that energy. And when we talk about the Strength card, in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot, you see a depiction of a woman who's got her hands or her head in the mouth of the lion. And the whole concept there is that she has stared fear in the face and she's made it her friend. She's not broken the will of the animal, but she has worked with the animal to build a relationship, to build trust. There's a symbiotic connection there because it was earned through respect. And I feel like this is what is being completed in your life at this time is you are cutting out people, places, and things that you have felt have created a level of disrespect within you. You are respecting yourself more. You are trusting in yourself more and not seeking outside of you so much the what do I do, as much as it's whenever you do seek outside of yourself, it's validation. Am I on the right path? I just need a little encouragement, or I'm doing this and this and this, but this feels a little elusive. I could use some guidance or clarity around this. I feel like connecting to this is super important because especially in this window of time, what I keep seeing is it moves you along the water. It's like it puts you in flow. Or you're riding on the cloud, or you're riding on the leaf that's blowing in the wind. There is purpose and direction. It's coming from source. You don't have to think about it. You just need to ride the wave in essence. So that feels pretty big. And now we're at our Balsamic Moon card. I surrender. Balsamic Moon is happening May 23rd through to the 25th. What energy can I lean into to fly free into this new version of me? What can I consider as I embrace this opportunity to know myself anew? So we've got the Knight of Swords. This is really interesting. So Knight of Swords can be a bit impulsive, but Knight of Swords is also the knight that you want when you are in a battle, when you need someone who is going to take charge, when you need someone who's going to be there, be reliable, and to fight the good fight. So I'm feeling like you want to surrender to timing. You want to surrender to the fact that when you are riding the wave, it's got its own flow, it's got its own temperature, and it's got its own pace and its own speed. And it's really about understanding, if I trust the universe and the universe has brought me to this wave, then I can inherently trust the wave. So even if it feels like it's taking me a little bit faster, I'm feeling a little out of control, or I feel like I'm slipping off that boogie board, just hang on a little bit tighter and trust, and really just keep my eyes open, watching what's transpiring, observing what is coming up and coming through. I feel like the Knight of Swords is going to take us all to exactly where we need to be, but it might be a bit of a bumpy ride. It might be a little freaky. It's going to happen quickly. So I feel like it's the affirmation is I surrender, but I feel like the real word is trust. Trust, trust, trust. Radical trust. Complete and utter trust in that source energy, in your plan, in the fact that I'm moving fast because there must be a reason. I'm moving fast. I don't have to worry about it. I just know that I'm going to get where I need to be, and I'm going to have what I need when I arrive. So let me just enjoy the journey, right? You can sit on the back of his horse, and I mean, he's going to be galloping pretty fast. It's going to be freaky, but you're going to get to exactly where you need to be. And in the end, if you weren't freaked out the whole time, you might look back on it and say, wow, I wish I had enjoyed that a little bit more. That was kind of fun. That was exhilarating, right? That was ecstatic. Bringing that word back. And now we have that, that was our Balsamic Moon, and our Balsamic Moon is the last of sort of the scientific phase of the new moon. Now we're going into that dark moon card, or that void moon card. And this is an energetic phase. And this happens right in between the Balsamic Moon card. It is May 24th. And it is about releasing. What can I release control of or walk away from, knowing it has served its purpose throughout this cycle and this process? How can I remain open to the new and the unknown in this process? Three of Pentacles. So this idea that you have to do everything alone. I had mentioned to you earlier about some of the inspirations and ideas. You want to share it with people, but you don't want to give them, give away the farm kind of thing. You want to keep some things close to your chest. Now I feel like it's releasing some of that and stepping more into that space of collaboration. Understanding that you don't have to do it completely alone, completely by yourself. The Three of Pentacles is also an invitation to bring some people into your inner circle, taking the calculated risk. Of course, you vetted them. You're using your intuition to determine whether or not they are, the right fit for what you're looking for. But I keep hearing you're building your team. So the release idea is, what I feel like you're releasing the idea. Like you're putting it into motion. It's already in motion. You're releasing this idea that I have to, control it anymore. And now it's about nurturing it, seeing how it wants to grow and nurturing it, working with it. It's like launching something. You've already done kind of all the work to see where it's going. Now it's about either launching the entire thing, launching the first phase, launching it by sharing with some people now who can really help you to get to that next phase or that next level. So releasing the idea so that it can become. And that feels really, really good. Oh, I love that message. So that is our new moon musings for April into May. And wow, it's going to be a really, really incredible one. If you like what you see here, like, subscribe, and click the bell on my YouTube channel for more content like this. Check out my Black Feather Couture, Divining a VIP Life, for real life readings and all sorts of, I want to say, backstage sort of information guidance. It's a little peek into the life of me, Stacy the Psychic, and who I am just as a woman out in the world. We talk a lot about transformation, and we're all in a major transformative space. And we're in it collectively, but that also means that it affects us on an individual level. And so if you're needing some support or guidance, I'm your girl. I'm here to help out. Would love to be able to connect with you. Feel free to click on the link below, book any kind of session with me that you feel would bring you what it is that you need. And I would love to connect in that way. Take care, guys. Have the most amazing new moon cycle, and we'll see you on the flip side. Transform well.